Hi guys, it's Rob. Hey, still working on my wiring problem where the shielding wire I found was connected to the core wire of the wire I ran to the brake pedal, and also intermittently to another wire, which turns out I didn't wire to anything. And the Haltech guys told me that that can fry the ECU. And it's probably the reason why mine had to be sent back to Australia. I'm not happy about that at all. Well, so anyway, once again, I wound up finding a scenario that could easily happen to someone else. And so I want to show you guys what happened to me. Intermittently, this wire, which goes to B10 on the connector, which it doesn't really matter, but it's called the SPI3. Well, I didn't need to use this wire for my application, so I just left it, with the factory harness. I didn't hook it up to anything. I kind of left it here in case I need to hook it up to something. Well, if you just cut it, I don't even know if I cut it or not. It could be that this is the way it came to me from Haltech, but anyway, this is the end of the wire. And someone has just cut it. It may have been me. And inside this electrical shielding is obvious. Well, inside of this is the shielding copper wire, and then there's another nylon shielding, and then inside of that is the copper core. Actually, this phone's pretty amazing. I guess you can see that. At least I can through the screen. Anyway, you can see that center one. I don't know if you can see where the short is or not. I'm too shaky, probably. Anyway, there is an intermittent short according to my ohm meter, and that could fry the ECU. So I'm going to go and strip this outer piece, pull the copper shielding wire away and cut it short so they can never short again. Everybody else better do that as well. If you got any shielded wires left over, clean them up, make sure there's no short, because the Haltech ECU does not like to be connected to ground. I should say the sense wire should not ever touch ground, otherwise it fries. Real quick, I want to tell you about another issue I ran into. When I'm ohming out the connector, I found this diagram here, which shows the pinouts. And so, okay, here is my matching connector here, the 26-pin connector. And so I looked at this, I read this wrong when it says here, looking into the connector on the ECU. Well, I guess I didn't read the ECU part. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're trying to put your ohm meter or your digital multimeter into this end of the connector, which I think is the most convenient. Doggone it, it's not focusing. If you're trying to do that, then when you're looking at this wiring diagram from Haltech, you need to inverse left to right. So, in other words, when you look at this upper left is 1, lower right is 26. Well, when you're looking at the connector head on, that's the upper right would be pin 1, and the lower left would be 26. So that's something that I messed up. And once again, it's one of those things that maybe is a little tip for somebody else who thinks the way I do, and assumes that this is the end of the of the wiring harness connector, and it's not. Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, be careful out there as you wire up your ECUs. I'm pretty excited to get mine back and finally see if I can bring my engine to life. Okay, have a good one.